Right. So we got phi here, phi equal to 24.38 degrees centigrade. So what he asked in the question is find the vane angle at inlet and outlet. Next he is asking work done per unit weight of water. Okay. So we are going to calculate work done per second per unit weight per second. Okay. So the formula is this one, work done per second per unit weight striking per second. So what he asked is work done per unit weight. So per second will be getting answered. So what he asked will get it. So already we know work done per second is this one for this series of blades. Rho A V1, nothing but rho A V1 mass per second into VW1 U1 plus VW2 U2 divided by mass into G gives weight, mg. What is asking? Weight. Okay. So m into g, mass per second into g. Right. So what you'll get, rho A V1 and rho A V1 gets cancelled. So 1 by g into VW1 U1 plus VW2 U2 will give you a work done per weight, work done per unit weight. Right. So please substitute the values here. Right. So 1 by 9.81 into VW1 U1. VW1 is 28.19. 28.19 into U1, 10.47. Okay, so this is VW1 and U1 plus VW2, 3.24 into U2, 5.235. So if you do this, you'll get work done. So what is the value?
31.801.
31.8. Okay, so remember the units. Work done per second is Newton meter per Newton. Newton meter per weight again. Okay, so Newton meter per Newton. Work done per second per unit weight cycle per second. Next, you can calculate efficiency. So efficiency formula you already know, 2 into, if you don't know, if you are unable to remember this value, you can remember in this way, work done per second by kinetic energy. Okay, so this is rho A V1 into V1 square. Half mv square. That is the thing. Kinetic energy is given by half mv square. Okay, so substitute the values. Rho A V1 gets cancelled. So 1 by 2, the 2 will go upside. So 2 into this value. Yes, tell me the efficiency value. So efficiency is
0.69.
right. So 69.32%. Okay, so what we'll get is 0. That value 0.6932. Okay, so if you want efficiency, you can show it in percentage by multiplying it by 100. Okay, so if you have seen this, so this is the thing mostly you'll ask for this series of vanes, that is efficiency, work done, and inlet velocities, sorry, vane angles, theta, phi, everything. Okay, so concept only thing is we'll get two U1 and U2 separately. So everything is same as your single blade only. Right, so if we completed this, half of this unit will be over. Next we'll have our turbines topic. Okay, so can I go for the next slide? Right. So next thing we are going into main of the fourth unit, second half of the fourth unit, that is turbines. So already we know hydraulic machines is defined as machines which convert hydraulic energy into mechanical or mechanical energy into hydraulic. Right. So under hydraulic machines, both will come, that is turbines as well as pumps, where turbines convert hydraulic energy into mechanical energy. Pumps will convert mechanical energy into hydraulic energy. That is the difference. So both comes under your hydraulic machines. Right. So these things, turbines and pumps. So now in the fourth unit, we are going to learn about turbines, and fifth unit will be about pumps. Right. So turbines, these are examples of the turbines which we learn in this chapter. It is Pelton wheel, Francis turbine and Kaplan turbine will be the things which we'll learn here. And in pumps, we have these things, reciprocating pump and centrifugal pumps. Right? So what is a turbine? Turbine is a hydraulic machine which converts the hydraulic energy into mechanical energy. Turbine is a hydraulic machine which converts the hydraulic energy into mechanical energy. Right? So today we'll start with some basics before starting the original turbines. So already we know what is a turbine. Turbines are defined as hydraulic machines which convert hydraulic energy into mechanical energy. And this mechanical energy is used in running an electric generator, which is directly coupled to the shaft of the turbine, right? So directly electricity is not produced. The mechanical energy, which is then connected to the generator where the current is produced, nothing but where the power is produced, right? So thus here what happening, the mechanical energy is again converted into electrical energy. So the electric power which is obtained from the hydraulic energy is called as hydroelectric power, right? So at present, the generation of hydraulic power is cheapest as compared by the power generated by other sources such as oil, coal, etc. This is the basic thing, introduction of what is the turbine, hydraulic power, what is hydraulic power, everything is seen here, right? So these are the some of the types of turbines. So this is Francis turbine, and these are the blades. See here, this is not a single blade. We can see number of blades on the drum here. Okay, so these are the different shapes here. It is hemispherical, cup shaped. Okay, there are different types there, and this is the first type of turbine which you are going to see. That is Pelton wheel or Pelton turbine. So this is general diagram which is seen there. So this is the wheel, and here you can see there is a shaft which will be coupled to the generator, right? So this is the pipe or the large size of pipe which is called as penstock, which is connected to our dam or reservoir from where the water should be supplied here. And what happens after coming from here, here you can see a nozzle connection is applied. So as a nozzle is given, what happens, the water coming from this penstock will come with a high velocity, and that high velocity jet will come and hit the blade here, right? Blade, or this is also called as bucket. So what happens, this blade will continuously rotate because of the application of velocity from the nozzle here. And this spear is used for controlling the velocity of the water coming out from here. Right, this is a basic diagram. No need to draw all these things. Just I'm showing what is that. Right, so already we know what is hydroelectric power plant, where it will be there, and in reservoirs if you see, right, so there will be connection of big larger pipes made of steel or some metals or some concrete things, which is called as penstocks. So from there the water will be supplied to the turbine here. So this is the turbine. So because of the high velocity, you can see the cross-sectional area is varied here. So velocity will be increased. So because of the high velocity, the turbine will rotate, which is again coupled. So this is the shaft coming from this turbine, coupled to the generator. From there, the power is supplied to the power lines. Transformer from there to the power lines, right? So this is a general diagram, how the power is produced from this hydroelectric power plant. Right, so we are going to study about this part. What is that? Turbines. Okay, so this is our hydroelectric power plant. So why we are seeing this, because we need to know this. What is this H, HG, and HF, everything. So here H is nothing but head, water head, nothing but how much height of water available in the dam or the reservoir. That is the thing, right? So what we know, a dam will be constructed across a river or a storage water where water is available. Dam will be constructed there, right? So what happens, from that water, a pipes of larger diameter, this pipe of larger diameter called as penstock, which will carry water under pressure from the storage reservoir. This is called reservoir. Backside of the dam will have our reservoir tank or reservoir water which will be there. From there, the water is supplied to the turbine by use of this penstock. Right, so these penstock are generally made of steel or reinforced concrete. Nothing but concrete or steel will be used here. Pipes, right? Okay. Turbines having different types of vanes will be fitted to the wheels. Right. So these are called as vanes. Different types of vanes will be there. This will be fitted to the wheels here. Okay. So after the water coming from the nozzle, which is attached to the penstock with a high velocity, hit the plate, and that water will be collected in a tank which is called as tail race tank, which is called as collecting tank. Okay, that Okay, inside that tank, if you see, there will be again water filled. So that height is called as a tail raise. And here, backside of the reservoir head, what is the height, maximum height, which is called as head raise. Head raise level and a tail raise level will be there here. Okay, so here, many things we need to remember is H is nothing but net head. Nothing but you can see the water is coming from a huge tank or huge pipe. So what happens? There will be some loss in that pipe. It may be because of the bend or because of the friction. So mostly we'll consider the friction losses because it is a huge size of pipe, right? So actual height of the water is this. Hg is the gross head, nothing but which is a head available back of the dam, nothing but the reservoir head. How much height of water available in the reservoir? So that is called as gross head. Right? So there is one more definition for gross head. What is that? The difference between head raise, nothing but top portion of the water in the reservoir, to the tail raise. The difference of head raise and tail raise will give the gross head, right? The difference between the head raise level and tail raise level is known as gross head, and this gross head is denoted by Hg, because in problem sometimes he will give, instead of giving the net head, he will give the gross head and the frictional loss. So you need to calculate net head there, right? So that's why it is very important. So gross head is the head which is available backside of your dam, or it is the difference of head raise and tail raise. Remember that, right? Next, if you see here, net head we want. What is the head which is supplied for the turbine? Net head. Because of this net head only, the water level we can find. So net head is nothing but gross head minus friction loss which is happening in this big tank, right? So for finding the net head, if gross head and friction loss is given, we can find the net head, or in some problems directly will give the net head. Depending upon the problem, we can find. So H is equals to Hg minus Hf, where H is the net head which is available for the turbine. Hg is the gross head, which is nothing but head of water, height of water, which is at the backside of the dam, right? Minus Hf is nothing but loss of head, which is happening in this pipe. Hf, this one. Hf is the loss of head. This much height of head is lost because of the friction here. Okay, right? So these are the parts which are available, or things which are available in hydroelectric power plant. What is that? Dam, already we know. It is a concrete thing which is constructed for storing the water. Next, penstock is a large size of pipes which are used for supplying water from the dam to the turbine. Those are called as large size of pipes which are made of either steel or concrete. Right? So nozzle, already we know what is the purpose of nozzle: to increase the velocity of the jet of the water. Next, a turbine, and the tail raise, already I said, the water which is coming from the after hitting the turbine blades, again it should go somewhere. So that will be the tail raise thing. Okay, right? So gross head, already we said Hg. Net head is given by H equal to Hg minus Hf. So already we know Hf is nothing but frictional loss, which is given by Darcy equation, 4FLV square by 2GD. 4FLV square by 2GD. So here D is nothing but diameter of penstock, because loss of head is happening in the penstock pipe, the pipe width of diameter D, right? So V is the velocity of flow in the penstock, L is the length of the penstock, and capital D is the diameter of the penstock. So this thing we need to remember. Hf is nothing but loss of head happening in the penstock because of the penstock pipe. Frictional loss is happening there. So Hf equal to 4FLV square by 2GD. Right. So next we have different types of efficiencies for the turbine. So there are 4 types overall. That is hydraulic efficiency, mechanical efficiency, volumetric efficiency, and overall efficiencies. So these, in problems we may ask any efficiency. Mostly we'll ask the overall efficiency or hydraulic efficiencies only. Right. So it is very important. 2 marks questions may be also asked from these efficiencies, types of efficiencies: hydraulic efficiency, mechanical, volumetric, and overall efficiencies. And next we'll see the different formulas for these 4 efficiencies in the turbines. Right. So first we'll see our hydraulic efficiency. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. So first we'll see hydraulic efficiency. So hydraulic efficiency is nothing but it is a ratio of runner power to water power. Okay, in general you can write here. Okay, hydraulic efficiency, it is defined as the ratio of power given by the water to the runner of a turbine to the power supplied by the water at the inlet of the turbine. Okay, so hydraulic efficiency is given by RP by WP, where RP is nothing but power delivered to the runner. But how much input is given to the runner? Sorry. Output, because here for the turbine, running power becomes your output power and supply power will be your input power as WP. Right, so efficiency hydraulic is RP by WP. So we need to know what is RP and WP. Right, so RP is nothing but power delivered to the runner, nothing but what is the power given to the turbine blades. This is the formula for finding that one. Right, suppose if it's Pelton turbine, we'll get this formula W by G into VW1 plus or minus VW2 into U by 1000 in kilowatts. For getting in kilowatts divided by 1000, and it is W by G into VW1 plus or minus VW2 U2 by 1000 if it is a radial flow turbine. Next we'll know types of turbines. There you can understand what are these. Right, so now you can just see the formula for RP, runner power, is formula. Next, for power supplied, water power or power supplied at inlet is this formula, that is rho G QH by 1000. Right, so this is the power supplied at the inlet of the turbine in SI units. It's known as water power. Is given by rho G into Q, where rho is the density of the flowing fluid, G already we know, Q is the discharge, H is the, already I said, what is H? Net head of the water which is available. Right, so this is your hydraulic efficiency. Next we have mechanical efficiency, which is the ratio of shaft power to the runner power. Mechanical efficiency is a ratio of shaft power to the runner power. Right, so next we have volumetric efficiency. So here it is a ratio of volume of water actually striking the runner to the volume of water supplied to the turbine. Okay, so these are the things. Next we have overall efficiency. Right, so next we have overall efficiency. So it is defined as the ratio of power available at the shaft of the turbine to the power supplied by the water at the inlet of the turbine. Right, so overall efficiency, it is nothing but ratio of shaft power to the water power, SP by WP, short forms this one. Right, so the shaft power by water power we can write like this also, shaft power by water power into, if you multiply runner power, both you'll get like this, SP by RP into RP by WP. So SP by RP already we know that is mechanical efficiency into hydraulic efficiency. So you can write overall efficiency is equals to product of mechanical efficiency into hydraulic efficiency. Product of mechanical efficiency into hydraulic efficiency is called overall efficiency. Then shaft power, already we know the formula, rho G QH by 1000. Right, so shaft power will be given P, capital P. So P by water power, if you do, you'll get your overall efficiency. Right, so this is about your types of efficiencies of turbines. Okay, so in the next class, we'll go with the Pelton wheel. So before that, we'll just see the classification of hydraulic turbine. So here, these are all the classifications depending upon the energies available at the inlet. First type is depending upon energy available at inlet. Nothing but which type of energy, kinetic energy, potential energy will be there. So if it is an impulse turbine, only kinetic energy will be available at the inlet of the turbine. Right, so these impulse turbines are the turbines where only the kinetic energy will be available at the inlet of the turbine. And reaction turbines, if you see there, you can see the pressure energy as well as kinetic energy at the inlet of the turbine for the reaction turbines. Right, so this is according to the type of energy at the inlet. So if you have only kinetic energy at the inlet of the turbine, it is called as impulse turbine. If you have both kinetic energy and pressure energy at the inlet of the turbine, it is called as reaction turbines. Right, so this is according to the type of energy. Next, according to the direction of flow through the runner. So from the jet, how the water is coming and how it is hitting the vane, according to the direction of flow we need to see. So in tangential flow, that is one type of direction, tangential flow. Next one is radial flow turbine, axial flow turbine, and mixed flow turbine. So these are according to the direction of flow. So whether the tangentially it is flowing water or the jet flowing in tangentially or radially or axially or in the mixed flow direction. Next, according to the height, nothing but head at the inlet of the turbine. It may be a high head turbine, nothing but backside of the dam, or we have more head of water, depending upon the height of the water, we need to use the turbine. That is the according to the head at the inlet of the turbine. High head turbine, medium head turbine, and low head turbine. This is according to the head of the turbine. Next, according to the specific speeds. I'll tell what is the specific speed later. So depending upon the specific speed, it may be low specific speed turbine, medium specific speed turbine, and high specific speed turbines. So this is comes under the classification of hydraulic turbine. So in one previous paper, I have seen classification of hydraulic turbines also, right? For 5 marks, I think I have seen this. So if you write this, it will be enough. Okay, so but for this, you can write what is impulse turbine. At the inlet of the turbine, if only kinetic energy is available, then the turbine is called as impulse turbine. If reaction turbine, if you see, we have both energies, that is potential energy as well as kinetic energy at the inlet of the turbine. Right? So impulse turbine is nothing but at the inlet of the turbine, energy available is only kinetic energy. And for the reaction turbine, what we'll get at the inlet of the turbine, we'll have both kinetic energy as well as pressure energies. Okay, so this Pelton wheel or Pelton turbine will start in the next class. Anil, just send me a screenshot of the attendance.